Hey there everyone, Courtney here from How to Loom Your Dragon. Welcome to my tutorial for this adorable sea turtle. He's pretty cute. This guy is going to take one loom, okay, and he's going to look pretty much just like this guy, except I'm going to change the colors and I'm going to change the pattern on the shell a little bit so that it can be done with one loom instead of three. I'm also going to be extending the neck a little bit, and the head is going to be slightly longer. But other than that, he's going to be pretty much the same as this guy, same design. Okay, so he takes one loom. Check the description for the band count. He takes about 1,000 bands total. Okay, so it's kind of an average project. Not too hard, but not extremely simple. All right, but I'm going to go as thoroughly through this tutorial as possible so that even if this is your first tutorial with me, you can follow along. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with the shell. Okay, in this video we're going to do the shell and the fins, and then in part 2 we'll do the head and the stomach and attach everything together. Okay, so just follow along with me. We're going to start with the shell color. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 bands at a time. Just assume that every time I put bands on, I'm using 2 at a time. Okay? If I don't say specifically how many I'm using, just put 2 on. Okay? Alright, here we go. So we're doing the shell color right now. Okay, we're going to pause there, and we're going to go down this way 3 times. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I'm going to grab my spot color. Okay, so whatever color you want the spots on the shell to be, 2 at a time of those. Spot color, twice. Then we're going back to the shell color. Alright, and now we're going to go down this row. We're going to take 2 shell color, and then we're going to do 2 spot color twice. Alright, now we're doing the shell color once, and then the spot color twice. And then the shell color once, and then the spot color twice. So there, and here, and then the shell color 1 time there. All right, shell color diagonally like that, and once more here. Okay, now we're going to do some horizontal bands. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply lay 2 bands on this peg at the top. Okay, I'm going to take 2 more, lay them across there. Okay, we can also push down our edges because that actually makes it a little easier to put these bands on. Alright, we're going to take 2 across here, and again there, and repeat. Repeat again. Repeat. Repeat there, and here, and again between these 2. Okay, so none of these were double looped bands, they were all just 2 laid on. We're going to do some loose bands on the edge here, so 2 there, and here, and there, and here, 2 here, 2 there, 2 there, and that's that. Okay? Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shell color and I'm going to wrap it around my peg, creating 4 loops with it on the hook. I'm sorry, on the hook, not the peg. On the hook. Take 2 more shell color, and you're going to pull that cap band onto those 2 bands, and then just grab the other loops on your hook like that. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to stick this right around that peg. Okay? So the little knot, the little cap band is facing that way. Okay? Alright, so what I'm going to do as I loop up the edge here is I'm going to be attaching some wrapped bands just to give the edge of the shell a little bit of a design. So this is totally optional, but I think it looks pretty cool if you do it. Okay, so I'm taking 2 bands of whatever color I want the edge design to be, and I suggest you use a contrasting color from the shell, because on this guy I used a color that was very similar and you can barely see them. Okay, so use a contrasting color, 2 bands on the hook, and wrap around, creating 3 loops with them. Alright, we're going to dig down past this guy that we attached on there just before to grab these 2 diagonals from below, and as we grab them over the peg, we're going to slip on those bands that are on the hook. Okay. Alright, you can attach them to every set, but I'm going to do every other set because I think doing every set is a little too much. Okay, so this set we're just looping up normally. Alright, the next set we're going to attach again, so wrap, creating 3 loops with 2 bands, and as we loop up this set we're going to pull that on. Okay, we're going to dig down, loop up. Alright, take 2 more, wrap around, creating 3 loops, loop up, pull them on. Okay, loop up 1 normally. Okay, here we're going to pause because we want to loop up the middle row just the way it is normally. Okay, now we're going to loop up this guy and we're going to attach those again. So here's the 2 bands wrapped around 3 times. Dig down and loop up. Okay, now we gotta loop up this set. Okay, this set we're looping up normally. Okay. Alright, here, this is what we're going to do here. Ready? We're going to take those spot color again, if you're using the spot color. Wrap it around your hook, creating the 3 loops. Then we're going to take 2 of the shell color. Okay. We're going to pull those bands onto it. Okay. Then we're going to gently let go, so it looks like that. Okay. Go into this peg through all the bands on the peg, and we're going to pull these loops through. So I'm going to put those loops back on my hook, and I'm going to pull them through. Okay. And then I'm going to grab the other loops on my hook like that. Okay. Right now the spot is on the bottom side, but once we pull this off we can kind of rotate it to the other side, so it doesn't really matter too much. Take a band of any color, it doesn't matter because we will be taking this off eventually. And just do a slip knot at the end so that to hold the bands in place. And then if you want now, you can kind of dig down and pull those bands to the right. Actually, no, let's do that after we pull it off. Maybe a little tricky, but we can figure it out. Alright, so now we can pull this part of the shell off. So it looks like this, right? So we can pull all those edge bands to the edge. Okay. And now what we want to do with this one here is make sure the spot is on the same side as these spots, so I'm just gonna kind of maneuver that white set of bands through to the other side. So I'm gonna stick my hook through and just kind of grab them and pull them to the other side. There we go. Okay, so all the spots are now on the correct side. Okay. Yeah, anyway. Yep. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the other side of the shell, and then we're going to do the center. Okay, so this is like a third of it. Okay, so let's do the other side. So it's going to be the same exact thing we just did, it's just the exact opposite. So starting here with the shell color. Okay, we're going to pause there. And then we're going to do the shell color 3 times down here. Okay, so there's once, twice, 3 times. Alright, here's our spot color again. Once, twice. Alright, then the shell color 3 times. Okay, shell color here. Then we're going to do the spot color twice. Then the shell color. Then the spot color twice. Then the shell color. Then the spot color twice. And then the shell color. Okay, and we're going to go down diagonally here. Okay. Now we're going to do our horizontals. Okay, so we're just laying 2 bands on the top. Right, and we're taking 2 at a time. Across there, 2 across here, and I'm going to push down to make it easier. 2 across here, push down. 2 across here, push down. 2 across there, push down. 2 across there, push down. 2 across there, push down. Here. And here. Alright, and now I'm going to lay 2 bands at a time. There. 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 And there. Okay. So now I'm going to do a band on my hook wrapped around creating 4 loops. Take 2 bands and pull that cap band onto them. Then grab that other loop on your hook so it looks like that. Okay. Wrap the 4 loops around this peg here. Okay, and turn it so that cap band is facing that way. Okay, here we go. Taking the spot color for the shell, wrapping it around my hook, creating 3 loops. So that's 2 bands wrapped around creating 3 loops, just like we were doing before. Alright, I'm going to loop up this diagonal, and as I loop up, I'm going to pull those bands onto those loops and loop that on. Alright, go up again without attaching. Okay. And we'll do it again. So wrap those bands around your hook. Okay, pull those on. Okay, go up once. Oops. Let's try that again. Okay, pause there. So now we're going to loop up this column. Alright, we're going to attach decorative bands again onto this diagonal set as we loop up. Okay, and now we're going to loop up this set. Okay, make sure these loose bands don't come off as you go. Alright, loop up this guy. Alright, take those two decorative bands, wrap them around your hook, creating 3 loops with them. 2, 3. And this is what I'm going to do for this side. I thought of something a little easier. We're going to, with those on our hook, we're going to dig down into that end and pull the 2 shell bands through like this. So dig down. Oops, put those 2 bands on your hook once the hook is, maybe it's not easier. Okay, pull the bands through. No, that's not easier. We have to do it the same way we did before. See? I actually did it right the other time. We're just pulling those bands onto there. Okay. Then let go, so they're still on. Okay. And we're going to dig down past those bands and grab those 2 loops. Okay, pull them through. Okay, grab the other end like that, and we'll tie the holding band into a slip knot on there. Okay, just like so. Right. And then if you want, you can dig down and drag those spot bands to the correct side, but you could also wait until we pull it off. So that's what I'm going to do here. Just make sure I did everything correctly here. I think I did. Let's hope so. Ha 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 ha. Okie doke. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate those spot bands to the other side. So we gotta just go through all the bands there and pull those with our hook to the opposite side. There we go. Okay, just like so. And we'll pull all those loose bands to the side. Okay, so right now we have 2 sets like this, okay? So these are the 2 sides. So next we're going to do the middle, okay? And we're going to attach those sides to the middle. Okay, here we go. So far, so good. Let's hope I can keep it good. Alright, shell color. Alright, so we're going to go all the way down the center with the shell color. So there are no spot colors all the way down here. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're going to go diagonally with the shell color, then down twice. So once and twice. Then we're going to do the spot color. Once and twice. Then the shell color. Shell color is 4 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the spot color. Then the shell color. Alright, we're going to do the same on the other side. Oops, sorry, these were supposed to be the spot color there. Spot color, spot color. Shell color 4 times, 2, 3, 4, then the spot color there, and there, then the shell color again. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to take 2 of the shell color across here and 2 more right here. Okay. I'm going to take a cap band and I'm going to wrap it around this bottom middle peg, creating 4 loops. So 2, 3, 4 loops. Alright. Okay, we're not putting horizontal bands on because the horizontal bands that we need are on the 2 sides that we have, so we don't actually need to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go on this side, okay? So you might want to lay your shells like that so you put the right side on the right side. With these decorative bands at the top, okay? They're not at the bottom, they're at the top, okay? Go through the cap band here, all 4 loops of the cap band, open it up and wrap it around. Wrap that cap band around that peg. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So go through all 4 loops of that cap band and wrap that cap band around here. Okay, now we're going to take the horizontals that are here. These are hidden, okay? They're not the ones that are sticking out a lot here. These are the hidden ones here. These go around there, and then on the other side, these go around there. And we're just going to take 2 horizontals across here. Okay, so I just added 2 across there. Alright, the next set are really loose horizontal bands. Those are going to go across these 2 pegs. Same thing on the opposite side. Okay. So both sets went across the middle there. Right, we're going to do the same on this for this set. So going in order. Make sure you don't skip any sets. Okay. Now I'm going to pause here because I don't want to overstretch these bands. I don't want to go all the way up. Okay, so I'm going to pause there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start looping down here and attaching those decorative bands. So I'm going to take 2 bands, wrap them, creating 3 loops on my hook. Okay, and I'm going to dig down past that cap band at the end here and grab these 2 that go this way. Okay, the 2 on top. And I'm going to pull those decorative bands on and just finish looping that over. Okay, let's do the other side. Same thing. All right, I'm going to loop up 3 times up the middle, up to where our horizontal bands end. So 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to stop there. I don't want to go up anymore because the horizontal bands aren't attached yet. All right, and then I can loop up this guy here, and I can go up this guy and the next guy. Okay. Okay. So now what I can do is I can detach. I'm going to detach 2 sets. So here's the first set detached and the second set detached. So now I'm going to take the next set of horizontals on this side, wrap them like that, and the next set on this side, and wrap them like that. All right, loop up 1 time, up each column, 1, 2, 3, and detach 1 set, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna do that again. So next set goes around there, on that side and on this side. Loop up once in each column, so once there, and once there. Okay, lift up 1 set. Okay, do it again. Wrap there, and wrap there. Loop up 1 set in each. 2, 3. Okay, lift up 1 set. Okay, here we go again. Wrap 1 set there. Wrap 1 set there. And detach 1 set. Okay, you don't want to detach too much or the whole thing's going to come apart. Great. Loop around there. Loop around there. Ooh, I like his shell. His shell is cool. I really like his shell. Okay, let's think here. Okay, so what we got to do here is these bands are kind of tucked in, hidden. Okay, grab them, wrap them around just the side. Same thing on this side. The hidden tucked bands go here. Take 2 more and just put them across like that. All right, and just loop up once in each column. 2, 3. Okay. The next set goes, okay, watch carefully here. So we have 1 more set of loose bands. So these bands are going to go like this and like that. Okay, I'm going to lift up 1 set off the bottom. All right, and what we have to do here, let me think for a sec. We are going to attach, well, first we can, I think we can loop up once in each set. So, okay, so let's loop up once in each column. Okay, and then we got to take the set at the edge here that we have tied off, where I have tied off with this red band. Okay, and we've got to make sure that these decorative bands are on this side. So I actually have to lift up these 2 loops and bring them to the other side of that set so that those bands are on. I mean, you can always do this part after you take it off the loom too, so it's not a big deal. Okay, like that. So these 4 loops, you're going to go through the 4 loops of the shell color. Don't go through the tying band, go through the 4 loops of the shell color. And we're going to pull off the tying band. Okay? Alright, very important. Wrap the bottom 2 loops around this peg. So just the bottom 2. Okay, the top 2 are still on the hook. Okay. So we have to do that to the other side too. So what we can do is we can tie a tying band around these 2 to hold them. That won't really do anything though, now that I realize. Yeah, let's just do it just for extra security. So just tie 2 bands around there. Or I'm sorry, tie a band around there. We're just going to let this kind of hang out there, like sticking up like that. Okay. While we do this side. So you're going to go through the 4 loops of the shell color over here, take off that tying band, and we're going to wrap the bottom 2 loops around this peg. It's the exact opposite of what we just did. Okay, the same thing, just the opposite. Okay, now we're going to take 2 shell color for our horizontal bands across. Then we can attach the top 2 loops on this side and go through the top 2 loops on this side, take off the tying band because we don't need it now, and just attach the top 2 loops back on there. Let's see how this looks. I think that's what I want. Okay, let's see. I hope that's right. Okay, loop up once here. Loop up once here. Okay, and we're gonna go these 2 diagonals here. These 2 diagonals there. Once there and once there. Okay. I'm gonna take 1 shell color, go through the end, pull it through, tie a slip knot, whatever color your shell is. Make sure you don't do any random color, whatever color your shell is. I'm going to gently pull this off and hope that it came out correctly. Okay. Yay! Yay, that's pretty cute. Alright. So there is the shell, guys, made with 1 loom. Not bad, right? I think I did pretty good for that, considering that I only used 1 loom. Alright. Okay. So our next step is to do the fins. Okay? Fins are much easier. We got rid of the hard part first. Alright, so I'm going to be doing the back fins first because they're easier. Okay, and it only takes like a few minutes to do. So, whatever color your fins are, take 2 at a time. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, and then we're going to go here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, like that. I'm actually using a new type of solar band. It's called Jupiter. It's like white, but it turns to yellow in the sun instead of pink. And I think they also have one that's white that turns to green, which is kind of cool. Alright, we're going to take 2 bands at a time for our horizontals. Across, like that. And like that, and like that. And then we're going to cap off here by wrapping it around, creating 4 loops. Okay, now what I'm going to do is as I loop up, I'm going to attach some spots. Okay, totally optional, you don't have to do it. I think it looks cool, so I'm going to do it. And I'm doing black spots here. Okay, so take a band, wrap it around your hook, creating 5 loops. Dig down past your cap band to grab these 2 diagonals, and as we loop up, we're going to pull that cap band on. This is kind of tricky if you've never done this before. You just got to get all the loops over the hook. Okay, and then loop up. Alright, and then I'm going to loop up once there, and we're going to do the other side. So same thing, wrap around, creating 5 loops. Dig down, loop up diagonally, and as you do, pull those on. Okay, and loop up once here. And we're going to go up once in the middle, like that. Alright, we're going to attach one right here. If it's easier for you, you can wrap these bands around your hook creating 4 loops instead of 5, if that makes it easier for you. But I think it always has a nice tighter look when you do 5 loops. So to me, it's worth the effort. So it's kind of like a pattern here. I'm attaching it to like every other one. It's kind of like a checkerboard. Okay, I'm gonna put one here. Alright, and then I'm going to tie off with any color, doesn't matter. So we're going to tie slip knots through these 3 ends. One there, one here, and one more here. Again, this color doesn't matter because you will be taking it off later. Alright, so that is one fin for the back foot. So you got to make a second one, okay? So you have 2 of them. Right? So you want to have 2 fins. Okay. And then we're going to do the front fin. Okay, so we have 2 back fins, we have our shell. Let's do the front fin, which is going to look like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one with you, and then you may need to make the second one, but you have to make it like opposite to the first. Okay, so like a mirror image to the first one. Okay, otherwise you're going to have the spots on the wrong side. Okay, so I'm taking 2 bands across there and across there. And 2 more there. We're going to go down, down there, down, down, diagonal. Go down 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's do a horizontal, so just 2 at a time so far. Alright, double loop here, so double loop once, double loop twice, double loop there. Okay, that was 1 band double looped for each of those 3. Alright, now we're going to take a band onto our hook, wrap it around, creating 5 loops. Take 2 of your fin color and pull those 5 loops onto those 2 bands and reclaim the loops, just like we did before on the shell a few times. We're going to wrap those 4 loops around this end one right there. Okay, and just turn it so the knot is on that side. Okay. Alright, okay, here we go. We're going to loom, and as we go, we're going to attach some spots. Okay, so I'm going to loop these two over. Alright, and grab a spot color, wrap around your hook, creating 5 loops. Okay, go in here, grab the 2 diagonal bands, and pull that spot onto them. Okay, if the loops came off, you just want to make sure they go back around like that. Okay, I can loop up once here. Okay, and I'm going to attach another spot to these guys. So I'm going to dig down here, loop up, and attach a spot there. Okay, dig down, loop up, dig down here, and loop up there. All right, now I'm going to attach a spot to the center set. And loop up once. So same thing here, we're pretty much making a checkerboard with the spots. One more spot. Okay, so here we want to make sure we get these vertical bands first, and then we go back down and do these two across. So we're just looping across, and then digging down, grabbing the bottom two and looping those across. Alright, I'm going to tie off these two ends with any color band, doesn't matter. Okay, so there is one front fin, okay? This is the top, that's the bottom. So you want to go make a second one, the same as we just made, okay? But remember, it's the opposite. If you don't know how to do that, just hold your screen in front of a mirror and you'll see what I mean by symmetrical. Okay, so you want to make two that are opposites, like that. Alright, so by the end of this video you should have your shell, and you should have your two front fins and your two back fins. Alright, so I will see you in the next part for the head and the stomach. Alright, good job so far. See you over there, everyone.